Nintendo's reveals of the Switch 2 have largely been focused on the games, but they've also dropped information on their website going into much more detail about the technical specs of the Nintendo Switch 2. This is a bigger and better Nintendo Switch, and today I'm going to dive into the details related to the hardware for the Nintendo Switch 2 console. Well, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button down below for even more Nintendo content here on Power Up Direct. Okay, without further delay, let's dive into the hardware for the Nintendo Switch 2. First of all, we've got the system size. So the original Switch is about 4 inches high and 9.4 inches long with the Joy-Con. Switch 2 is bigger at 6.5 inches high and 10.7 inches in length. And again, that is with the Joy-Con. Now, given it's larger, it's also slightly heavier, weighing in at about 1.18 pounds compared to the original Switch at 0.88 pounds. So the system's at the same width as Nintendo showed off in their reveal presentation. So overall, it's bigger, it's slightly heavier, but also slightly lighter than a Steam Deck. Next up, we got the screen size. So Switch 2's touchscreen is 7.9 inches, and that is bigger than the original Nintendo Switch, which is 6.2 inches, and the Switch OLED, that is 7 inches. However, it is an LCD screen rather than an OLED, although people who have got the hands-on with the Switch 2 have said it is a very good LCD screen. Well, the Switch 2 has got a resolution of 1080p in handheld mode, compared to 720p for the Nintendo Switch, and the Switch 2 screen supports a variable refresh rate of up to 120Hz. Well, next up we've got the Joy-Con 2. So the Joy-Con 2 are improved over the Switch, given they attach magnetically to the side of the console. The original Switch Joy-Cons weighed around 1.8 ounces for the left and 1.7 ounces for the right, and the new Joy-Con 2 weigh around 2.3 ounces each. The increased weight is probably to do with the mouse sensor in each Joy-Con. That allows you to flip over the Joy-Con 2 on the side and use each of them as a mouse. On the right one, there's a new C button for game chat, allowing for in-game chat functionality similar to Discord for online multiplayer support. You can also just share your gameplay with other players too. So while the Joy-Con 2 for Nintendo Switch 2 don't have the Hall effect technology, Nintendo have said this. They say the control sticks for the Joy-Con 2 controllers have been redesigned, have been improved in areas such as durability. Well, each Joy-Con 2 has a built-in accelerometer and a gyroscope, and they both have wireless connectivity via Bluetooth 3.0, and the right Joy-Con 2 has an NFC wireless technology connectivity. So each Joy-Con 2 has approximately 20 hours of battery life and requires about 3.5 hours to charge. Next up we've got storage. So Switch 2 has got 256 gigabytes of flash storage, and that is much more than the original Switch's 32 gigabytes. You can also expand the Switch 2 storage with a micro SD express card, although do be aware of those, they are quite pricey. The original Switch supports the micro SD HC and also micro SD XC, but that means you're going to need a new memory card for the Switch 2. Your Switch 1 micro SD cards are not going to be compatible with the Switch 2, so do bear that in mind if you want to expand the internal storage of the Switch 2. Next up we've got the CPU and the GPU. So the Switch 2 has got a custom Nvidia processor, although both companies are being quite tight-lipped when it comes to the finer details. According to leaks from the motherboard, it's supposedly a custom Tegra T239 processor, and that would mean a similar power to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The Switch 2 also has Nvidia upscaling technology to boost the visuals up to 4K when docked, and finally it is rumoured to have 12GB of RAM. Well, next up we've got the ports. So Switch 2 has got a port for game cartridges, obviously, and it's got 2 USB-C ports, one on the top, one on the bottom, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. The USB-C port on the bottom of the console is probably for charging and connecting to the dock. There's another port for the micro SD card, and that is under the kickstand, similar to the Nintendo Switch 1. Next up we've got the microphones. The Switch 2 has a built-in microphone which can be used for game chat, the in-game chat feature allowing players to speak to other players when playing online together. The microphone's got built-in noise cancellation, echo cancellation, auto gain controls, so you don't really have to fiddle with the settings too much to get a good quality audio. Next up we've got the battery. So Switch 2's battery is intended to last from about 2 hours to about 6.5 hours depending on the games you play, and that is a little bit less than the original Switch. That lasted 2.6 to 6.5, and it is much less than the later OLED models. They lasted 4.5 to 9 hours. Also, the Switch 2 is going to take about 3 hours to charge completely, and Nintendo added a setting to let the battery charge slowly at 90% battery, similar to phones, to help preserve the battery life. Next up, Wi-Fi. So Switch 2 supports Wi-Fi 6, and that's going to help download games faster if you've got a good internet connection. It's also going to improve game chat when sharing games, and the dock has a built-in Ethernet port for hardwiring the online connectivity. Next up we've got the dock. So the dock for the Switch 2 is bigger, given the increased size of the new console. The dock is 4.5 inches tall and 7.9 inches wide, plus 2 inches thick. On the back of the dock there's 2 USB ports. We've got an HDMI port and an Ethernet port as well. And it's going to output 4K at 60 frames per second to your nice big TV. Finally, we've got accessibility. So Switch 2 offers new accessibility features like text sizing and text-to-speech. You can also enable speech-to-text and text-to-speech for game chat as well, so that's very, very handy. Similar to the original Switch, you can also remap the controller buttons, change the display colours, zoom into the screen, and also change the audio modes from stereo to mono. Well, let me know in the comments what you think about the hardware of the Nintendo Switch 2, but that is it for this video today, looking at the Switch 2 hardware specs. And as always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for even more Nintendo content here on Power Up Direct. Thanks again, I'll see you very soon.